first time we came here. Oh, Paimon remembers! Nahita's consciousness had been trapped by the doctor, but we followed the clues she left behind to help her. So much time has already passed since then, and it seems Sumeru's changing for the better now that Nahita's in charge, right? Paimon just hopes this peace will last a long time, and then Nahita won't have any more new problems to deal with. Yeah, guess you're right. We somehow always find ourselves right in the thick of it. Who knows what will happen next? Come to think of it, maybe it's all because of you. Maybe you're just a magnet for trouble. Huh? Me? Before Paimon ran into you, Paimon never ran into any trouble. At most, when she was super tired, Paimon got caught in some strange whirlpool and sucked out into sea. And even then, you fished Paimon out. Anyway, for Nahita's sake, maybe we should think.
Ah, look who it is. Running into you in a place like this? I can see you two still love wandering around.
Oh, it's Dia! Since when are we just wandering around? We're usually taking care of some serious business. Even though it may have nothing to do with our journey. But never mind that. What brings you here?
I just finished a commission, and that's when I saw you two all the way over there. Huh? You can't say I saw that coming. But you are bumping into you like this will become a rarity. I'm starting to feel sad just thinking about it. Hey, how about I gather a few mercs?
Thanks, but no need. Oh, Paimon had no clue you'd miss us so much. But don't worry, we'll come back to see everyone when we get a chance.
Sounds good. All you need to do to get to Fontaine is cross this stretch of desert and navigate some waterways. Knowing you two, I'm sure it won't be anything you can't handle. So, when are you leaving?
Oh, wait a sec. Paimon just remembered there are still a few dishes in Sumeru.
I see. Guess you won't be needing a going-away party or anything. Though, now that I think about it, Sumeru wouldn't be what it is today without you. Seems true heroes always prefer leaving quietly.
By the way, should we go say bye to Nahita? Oh, good point. Then there's no need to bother her in the real world.
Then, I guess this is goodbye for now, Trap.
Goodbye, Dia. Bye-bye, Sumeru.
Take it easy.
After crossing all that sand and water, we finally made it! Oh, this must be Fontaine's port! Wow! Everything looks so advanced in Fontaine! Paimon's heard just seeing the sights as a tourist is nice, but maybe it would be better if we found something to do! What do you think? Good idea! Nahita gave us loads of useful Seeking out the Seven is probably still our best source for information at this point. Yeah, the more we can learn, the better. So, what do you think the Hydro Archon's like? Will we get along? Nahita said that she has a very unique personality. To learn about a nation's god, start with the nation's people. There seems to be see some locals talking over there. Let's go see if we can join the party.
If you ask me, it's a tragedy how things ended for him. Clearly.
Yeah, I didn't expect that kind of ending for him. I thought he would at least fight on a little longer for his family. I was expecting a sudden plot twist, but it's a pity that it never happened. Still.
Excuse me. Can I help you too? I couldn't help but no.
Hi. We're travelers new to Fontaine, and we had something we wanted to ask, but you seem to be really busy talking about some kind of play, so we didn't want to interrupt.
Play? Oh, no. We're talking about something that really happened. In fact, it's a case that was just heard a few days ago.
Really? Like, a real trial? But the way you were talking about it and the words you used just now made it so...
Well, good tales are often based on true stories, aren't they? And what you see in reality may also be someone deliberately putting on an act while harboring ulterior motives. Whether something is true or not simply isn't that important. The main thing is whether the story being acted out on the stage is splendid. Oh, but it looks like you're not from around here. You probably don't know.
But, shouldn't court cases be treated a little more seriously than that? Not to question...
No worries. Other visitors to Fontaine have wondered the same thing. You could say that we just don't want to waste the moving stories behind those cases. And as for your worries about whether the cases are treated with due reverence, we have the absolutely just and honor, as well as the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal, a machine created by the Archon. Between the machine and the Chief Justice...
Oratrice? Is it some kind of machine, too? Oh, Paimon's curious. We should check it out if we get the chance. Wait, Paimon almost forgot to ask you our question. Do you know what we should do if we want to meet the Hydro Archon?
Oh, that's easy. Just go to the Opera House. Lady Farina practically lives there. You could definitely say it's her biggest passion.
I think what they mean is that they wish to speak with the... In that case, I'm afraid it's going to be a tad more difficult.
Huh. Is the Hydro Archon super busy taking care of official stuff? Wait, didn't you say that she's always at the Opera House?
No. Lady Farina seldom takes an interest with the nation's affairs. The reason it's difficult to make an appointment is simply because she's incredibly popular.
That's right. After all, she is the Archon. Though she may tend to get a little dramatic from time to time, people can't...
Huh. First time Paimon's ever heard of an Archon being described that way before. Wait! Paimon gets it now! The Hydro Archon is kinda like a big celebrity here, right?
Yeah, I suppose you could say that. Perhaps you could even say our mascot.
Hang on. This is still Fontaine's Archon you're talking about. You should show some more respect.
Yes, you're right. I guess I should at least try to be a little more respectful in front of visitors. Otherwise, I might get arrested and find...
Come on. Sure, there's a lot of laws here.
All right, I think we get it. Thank you! At least we now know that we can find the Hydro Archon at the Opera House. But who knows how long making an appointment will... Hey! What are you looking over there for? Huh. Maybe something's the matter. She isn't going to jump into the water, is she? Maybe we better go check on her. Hello there. Excuse me. Are you all right?
Huh? I'm fine. Thanks.
Oh, okay then. We just noticed that you...
About many things, actually. But there's nothing I can do but just keep my troubles to myself. I was just reminiscing about a place my brother and I would play when we were kids.
You're pointing at the sea.
No, people call the waters around Fontaine a sea. It's actually just an inland lake that's filled with fresh water. And no, I can still see that hill clearly in my memories. Now, he would skip and jump, tossing sand in the wind. But now, the water is gradually swallowing our memories. It won't be long before it swallows us.
Sorry.
I don't believe we've had the pleasure of meeting. Are you Lynette's new friends?
Oh, and you are?
Thanks for looking after my sister. She often comes here to reminisce about our childhood, that's all. There's no need for any concern. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Linny, and this is my sister Lynette. If I had to guess, I'd say you must be travelers from abroad.
Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. We just arrived in Fontaine. We were just talking with your sister. Even though we didn't really get what she was saying.
I see. It's unusual for Lynette to be so willing to talk with anyone. In fact, she seldom speaks at all.
Oh, really? Then you two are just like us. Paimon's always the one talking for some reason. So that's how you think it is?
I also think my brother can be too talkative at times.
Seems you were right, Paimon. We are quite similar.
So, what did Lynette mean just now when she said that the water is engulfing your memories? And that it won't be long before it engulfs you too?
Oh, that. It's from a prophecy that's been circulating in Fontaine for some time now. Well, I suppose prophecy isn't exactly the right word, because that implies a certain amount of uncertainty. There's no doubt about what's happening in Fontaine now. Where to begin? Let's put that question on hold for a moment. We still haven't formally greeted each other yet, have we?
Did all the introductions earlier not count?
Hello, traveler. And hello, Paimon.
Hey! Why didn't Paimon get a handshake? You're not poking fun at Paimon, are you?
Please, don't take offense. Just consider it a sort of etiquette we have here in Fontaine when making new friends. You should remember it. It might prove useful.
Oh, all right then. Well, Paimon's just happy to have a local friend now. By the way, we were just getting ready to go to the Opera House to meet the Hydro Archon. Would you be able to show us the way?
So you're going to see Lady Farina? No problem at all. In fact, I was planning to go to the Opera House later myself. I'll gladly take you once I finish things here. Please, follow me. You said you were going to see Lady Farina?
So, she's the Hydro Archon? But how did she know we were looking for her?
My dear people, rich and poor, those with cup in hand and those with nothing at all, raise your glasses in celebration! If you don't have one, then just raise your hand in lieu. As you can all see, two unfamiliar travelers have arrived arrived in our nation. Come, let us make a toast in honor of this traveler and his companion who have journeyed here from distant lands.
Is she talking about it?
I've long heard of the turmoil and chaos you've left in your wake as you visited other nations. But I welcome you nevertheless. No, I have come to receive you personally. Fear is for insignificant cowards. I am a god, and I will never entertain the notion of such meaningless wariness. Of course, seeking an audience with me is the most sensible thing to do. And I, Focalor, hereby welcome you to the nation of Hydro.
Yeah, Paimon still can't believe it. Feels like we've only been here for a few minutes. But the Hydro Archon's entrance was, how should Paimon describe it? A little over the top? Miss Hydro Archon? How did you know we were coming?
I see. As Outlanders, you inevitably lack even some of the most basic understanding. Don't forget that even the gods can be divided into the mediocre and the excellent. I suppose it's only natural for you to be awestruck by my abilities. You had best stop and consider. Do you really have the noble qualities and etiquette necessary to communicate with a god? All it takes is a flick of my finger for me to know everything about you.
Whoa, talk about sounding high and mighty.
Oh? What's with these looks? Perhaps the welcoming ceremony still isn't enough?
Is she?
Wow, I didn't expect to see Lady Farina. Wait, does this mean they're the legendary blonde traveler?
Hey, what's all the commotion? Oh, is that Lady Farina? Is there some kind of drama going on?
Of course. That's the blonde traveler. The one all those stories are about. Lady Farina came here to personally see him. Oh, I bet this is gonna be the duel of the century.
Ooh, I've got to see this. I knew Lady Farina would never disappoint.
Yes, but don't get too excited now. My dear believers and spectators alike tend to get quite rowdy, and despite the noise, I've come to tolerate all their ruckus. You may consider this my reward to all of you. I have determined that there will be an epic duel between myself and this traveler from another land, just as you were hoping to see.
Now she wants to fight? Aren't we getting a little ahead of ourselves?
Are you not afraid? Might I remind you that this is a duel against the divine?
What are you trying to do, traveler? Provoking a god in front of her people?
Stand down, Clorend. I admire his bravery. Few have the courage to draw their sword against a god. He is obviously a Unfortunately, people...
Huh. Yeah, she's right. Just a duel would...
On Araneus, criminals are always requesting duels to defend their honor.
You see. Then, as the god...
Whoa, all right.
Right. This is Fontaine, after all. Such a grand opera house, it would be a pity not to use it.
Why do you care so much about the crowd's reactions? Seems you've spent a little too much time in the opera house. Besides, how exactly do you plan to have a duel in court? You mean you're going to put us on trial?
Oh, we have reason to put you on trial. It's obvious, isn't it? to Font.
Oh.
You call that obvious? What kind of law is that? Wait, flying up?
Precisely! Now, if you two have no
My apologies, Lady Farina. I don't mean to spoil the fun. I don't think that Paimon here meets the definition of a flying object.
You tell her, Linny! Finally, someone who's not crazy. How could anyone call Paimon a flying object?
Great magician Linny, my beloved citizen.
As a magician who just rained on your parade, I naturally should shoulder the So, with such an audience gathered here, allow me to perform a trick for everyone.
Ta-da!
What's that on Paimon's back? Hey, when did you do that?
There. As you can all clearly see, Paimon should be classified as, well, something like a balloon. This rope has been in the traveler's hand all along. It was just that no one could see it before.
Huh? You call that magic? You've got to be joking.
I thought it was pretty good. Nice one.
Huh. I'm not sure what to think. It seems Lady Farina's charges no longer hold water.
Amusing. Very amusing.
Performance? You see all this as a performance?
In which case, consider the matter of your trial resolved. The god of justice, but when there are valid grounds, but even the gods of other lands. I look forward to seeing your upcoming performance at the Opera House, Mr. Linny and Miss Lynette.
And just like that, she's gone. Well, that's the most unpredictable Archon Paimon's ever seen. We never even had a chance to ask her anything. But that's a problem for future Paimon.
Don't mention it. I just happened to remember that there was such a law, so I did a little preparation, just in case. I didn't think it would actually come in handy. So, now do you see what kind of god Lady Farina is?
She can be a bit confusing at times, but she is still amenable to reason.
Anyway, Paimon had no idea you were a magician, Linny.
I just know a few simple tricks I use to make a living. It will actually be my first time performing on the most prestigious stage in Fontaine.
But isn't the Opera House where criminal trials are held in Fontaine?
When there are no public trials being held, the Opera House hosts a variety of... And speaking of performances, I would be remiss to forego this opportunity.
My brother's always excited to make new friends.
Oh, sure. We don't really have anything.
Splendid. In that case, why don't we go together? You really mean it? Then I'll take you up on your offer. This is a magical item known as a magic pocket. Perhaps you can help me distribute them to the people here.
Huh? What are they going to use it for?
About that... You asked me before. I'm not sure exactly when it began, but a prophet... It says that every person in Fontaine is born with sin. No matter how the nation of justice holds trial after trial, this sin cannot be absolved. Until one day, the water levels in Fontaine will rise, and the sinful people will slowly be drowned. In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
That sounds pretty gloomy. Why are people in Fontaine born with sin? What is that supposed to mean?
There are lots of guesses. Some say that the ancestors of Fontaine stole the power of the seas and stirred its wrath. Others say that the people of Fontaine never heeded the first Hydro Archon's warnings and offended Celestia. But here in Fontaine, evidence is what matters. There hasn't been concrete evidence for any of these claims, so they can only be regarded as conjecture.
If even the people in Fontaine don't know what sin they committed, wouldn't it be better just to ignore the prophecy completely?
That's exactly what the people did at first. But in the last few years, the water levels in Fontaine have actually started.
Many places have already been completely submerged, and now lie beneath the sea.
Many people carry on with their lives as before and shrug it off as a natural phenomenon. But my family and I think that the people of Fontaine we hope that at least the people who reside near the waterfront can move away before it's too late. So, we've started distributing magic pockets to them. As a magical item, these magic pockets have astonishing capacity.
Oh, Hyman gets it! It's like...
Perhaps only absolute power. Now, if you'd like to help, then please give these magic...
What's this? So you also believe...
What? You mean...
No, I believe in the prophecy. But the story says that people once lived in the ocean. They were one with the ocean and couldn't. But as time wore on, people desired to live on land and developed blood vessels. So, if you ask me, when the water rises and takes us all, it'll be like we're going home.
Oh, we hadn't heard that one.
All right, I'll
So you're the blonde traveler that... Oh, a magic... Thanks. Please.
I don't want that thing. Way I see it, if the prophecy's true, it's still gonna be a long time before the water can cover everything. Life is all about living in the moment. What use is there in worrying about the future all the time?
You should still take it. You never know when it'll come in handy.
Oh, all right, fine. Thanks. It's just that if I start moving, that means I've already given... Take it easy.
Oh? You already handed out all of the magic pockets? That was fast. So, yes, but that will change once disaster strikes. I know they'll change their minds, so it's only...
Is there anything else you need to do before we...
Yes, one last thing. I have the magic pockets made by a workshop in the court of Fontaine. Since we're out and about, I was thinking if...
So, you want to collect materials? Just tell...
Oh, that would be much appreciated. We'll need some Romera time.
It seems we have to use Hydro to collect for maritime flowers.
You made quick work of that. I can tell you're an experienced. Maybe next.
No.
Fine. Though the
So, we're going to the court of Fontaine before we head to the opera house?
Wait, shh. Have you noticed that person over there? The young girl.
Huh? What's wrong with her?
She's obviously a thief. Magicians and thieves practice similar methods. We divert attention, and a distracted audience is one that won't discover what you're really doing. Watch her movements carefully.
Oh, he's red!
Shh, keep your voice down. We need to think of a way to catch her, but it seems she's very alert. Perhaps we should. You two can ride the lift over there and wait up top. I bet. All right, let.
Got a job for me?
This is the spot where Linny wanted us to wait. Oh, look! Isn't that her? Oh no! Did she notice us? What should we do? Should we chase her? You're right. She might Nothing's happened for a while now. Paimon wonders if Linny caught the thief. Yeah, let's...
Are you sure that's all she took? You should check to make.
No, that was all. Oh, anyway, I should...
Oh, were you returning what the thief had stolen?
That's right. Pity I wasn't able to catch her. She distracted me by dropping the thing she stole on the ground. But
I saw the general direction she went, but Linny twisted his ankle, and I...
Oh, did you...
I'll be all right. It's just a twisted ankle, that's all. In fact, it's feeling better already.
If you want to play at being a hero, at least try not to get hurt doing it. Imagine what would happen if you managed to derail our performance as a result.
You're right, you're right. Sorry, Lynette. I have to admit that the thief was even more skilled than I had anticipated. But at least we were able to get the stolen items back, so it wasn't a complete failure.
What a slippery little thief!
All right, let's put this little detour behind us.
So, we ride this thing to go into the city? What an ingenious way to get around! People in
This is an aquabus. It allows people to travel between several key locations around Fontaine. It's pretty convenient, but the ride can become a little dull after a while. The scenery is always the same.
So you mean it's still boring, even when I'm riding with you?
No, that's not what I meant. It's just that, Well, you don't really talk that much. Besides, it doesn't really feel like a real trip when it's just the two of us.
Whatever.
Guess that's what it's like to be an older brother.
It's about time for us to leave. Let's get...
Huh?
What? Traveler! Paimon!
Charlotte!
Oh, I never guessed I'd bump into you while riding the Aquabus. In the story of my life, this is big news. What are you doing in Fontaine? I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, it's quite the coincidence. But as travelers, we're always on the move. It's not surprising that nobody knew we were coming. Though we still have no idea how the Hydro Archon knew about us. Oh, let Paimon introduce you to our new friends.
Oh, no need for introductions, Paimon. I wouldn't be much of a reporter if I didn't know who they were. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you. From the Steambird, huh? We've often relied on your paper to promote our performances.
It's an honor to meet you.
Now that everyone knows each other. So, what have you been up to lately, Charlotte?
Not too much. When there isn't any breaking news, I mainly cover the trials at the Opera House. You can still manage to keep readers' attention as long as you tell things from a clever... For example, reporting on how a scammer once deceived vulnerable girls into relationships. Or how a financial criminal was once so poor that they ate a single piece of bread for 5 days. Ah, you're right. Seems you know me pretty well. What I'm really after is exclusive, sensational news pieces that could shake the country. These smaller stories are a waste of my... Oh, I just remembered. I've been following a case lately.
You mean the serial disappearances of young women case?
That's right. These stories are the talk of the town right now, and it's probably the most... If I'm the first with a draft ready to publish when the case is finally cracked... Oh, when that happens, I bet all the other reporters will shed tears of envy. I've already gathered all kinds of materials. I just can't wait for the truth to be revealed.
So, what is the serial disappearances of young women case? You mean the culprit hasn't been found?
That's right. The first missing girl case happened almost 20 years ago. And ever since, after a period of time, another girl disappears. What the cases have in common is that the girls are all of a similar age, and that they've all vanished without a trace. But the scariest part is that to this day, none of the girls have ever been found. Many suspects have been arrested over the years in connection with this case, but shortly after each arrest, another disappearance would always happen. Yes, it's possible. But either way, I believe that every case has some precise truth behind it, waiting to be exposed.
Yes, I agree. And at the very least, the family of those missing girls deserves some sort of explanation. I just imagined for a second what I would do if Lynette were to suddenly disappear. I'd pay any price to get her back, and then find a way to track down the culprit.
Please don't imagine that, Linny.
Hey, we're almost there! Look!
enjoyed chatting with you. Life should be full of pleasant little surprises like this.
Yeah, us as well. The ride went by too quickly.
Ah, I have an interview to get to. I should get going before I'm late.
Okay, Paimon hopes we can chat again soon, Charlotte. See ya!
Bye now. Oh, be sure to stop by and see me at the Steambird when you have time.
What a tough job. Always running around and interviewing everyone. Well, where should we go now?
If you don't mind, how about we stop by my home first? Besides, I still have all the materials we collected.
Sure, we wouldn't mind at all. This city is so huge, Paimon wouldn't know where to start anyway.
This is our current abode. Ah, Fremine, you're home.
Oh, they all just went out a moment ago.
I see. Everyone is getting busier now that Father will be returning soon. I suppose that can't be helped. Allow me to introduce you to my little brother, Fremine. He is a phenomenal diver.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler.
Linny, could you come here for a moment?
What is it, Fremine? Do you have something to tell me? Okay, I see.
Is everything all right?
Oh, it's nothing. We were just discussing a little housework. Oh, before I forget, the Traveler and I collected more materials to make...
Yes, I went diving and gathered lots of materials.
That's our Fremine, always quick with the underwater work. All right, I'll take these to the workshop.
Looks like rain.
Oh, you're right. But wasn't it clear and sunny just a moment ago? Fontaine's weather sure is weird.
I'm afraid that's just how it is here. It often rains on days where there are trials being held in the Opera House, but don't worry, it'll clear up soon enough.
What's wrong, Fremine?
There's a legend about the rain that I tend to believe. It's said that a dragon of water once resided in Fontaine. Though we don't know where the dragon went, every time it weeps, the skies will cloud up and pour out rain. When I was a child, my mother told me that if I wanted to go outside and play, I should yell toward the sky at the top of my lungs. Hydro Dragon! Hydro Dragon! Don't cry!
If it's an elemental dragon, then having the power to make it rain wouldn't be very unusual. Let Paimon try something. Hydro Dragon, don't cry!
Doesn't seem to be of any use. It is just a legend after all.
You know, you might be a more popular magician if you understood the concept of romanticism. Or could at least play along.
Sorry. It might be because we've never met the Hydro Dragon. Perhaps it can't be comforted by the words of strangers. It rained for longer than I suspected. Oh, it's already getting late.
Was there something you needed to do, Linny?
Yeah, some preparations for the show at the Opera House. I need to find a way to catch the last aqua bus of the day. On the day of the performance, just ride the aqua bus to the island of Araneus. I'll have Lynette meet you at the fountain in front of the Opera House.
Oh, are you leaving now?
What is it, Fremine? I'm in a hurry. Oh, I get it. You feel nervous delivering the materials for... Perhaps we could trouble the traveler. I'm afraid that Fremine can be quite introverted. And the boss there tends to be pretty talkative. Fremine has always been a little afraid of her.
No trouble at all. Don't worry, we're on the case.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
Oh, no need, no need. This'll be a walk in the park for us. Hello? Is there anyone here?
Oh, hello there. New customers? Looking to buy or
All right!
something made? Or perhaps you're just looking for a chat with me.
Oh no, we're just here to deliver some materials. Here they are. They're for making... what were they called again?
Ah, these must be for Magic Pockets. I could tell right away. I've already made several orders worth now. No need. They've already prepaid several batches worth. When they told me what they'd be using them for, I even offered them a discount. But they insisted on paying the full amount, saying that I had a business to run. It seems both their hearts and their pockets are made of gold.
Whoa. So, is Linny actually loaded?
I can't say for sure, but who knows? Maybe there's good money to be made being a magician in Fontaine.
Hey! Is this machine what you use to make stuff here? It looks really advanced.
Why use your hands when a machine can do the work? It would be a waste not to use the latest technology. And wasting is a kind of crime.
But where does a big machine like that get...
Well, it's a little complicated, but basically, everything we usually use here in the city is powered by indemnitium. It's a type of energy that's produced...
Huh? How can trials produce energy?
Well, I'm not completely sure of all the details myself. When a trial is in session, the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale harvests people's belief in justice and converts...
So that's what its other function is? Paimon heard that the... but... Paimon still doesn't get it. How could something... Oh, yeah! So that means the Hydro Archon relies on the machine to take the energy created by belief and...
Even though I've never heard anyone really put it that way before, it sounds like it makes sense. Besides indemnitium, we have another type of energy called pneumosia. It isn't produced by the power of the Archon, but it is unstable by nature. Even now, it still cannot be widely used by civilians.
I thought I'd find you hard at work, but here you are chatting the day away.
You again? Didn't I already promise you that I'd have them?
Yeah, but how do we know that you won't go running off by the end of this month? I want 50%.
Huh?
Seems business isn't so great for the work...
Hey, hold on! Before you go around trying to collect payments, why don't you settle your own debts first? If Confrérie of Cabriere wants to poach clients from Northland Bank, that's fine. But I'm afraid you still owe the bank a hefty sum of mora.
Ah, you're from Northland Bank. But we said we'll pay everything we owe next month.
Traveler, Paimon! I didn't think I'd run into you here in Fontaine. What are the chances?
We're surprised to see you too! What are you doing here in Fontaine? You didn't want to stay in Snezhnaya?
Long story short, I've already been in Fontaine for some time now, and honestly, things have been pretty boring. But it seems that fate brought our paths together today. Not only will I have some good friends here now, but ones who always seem to find trouble. Either way you look at it, it seems things are going to get a lot more interesting now.
Pretty sure we'd want to avoid anything that you'd...
Hey, you, Northland Bank boy. Aren't you forgetting something?
Don't interrupt. It's not often I run into the Traveler like this. Why don't you wait for me over there for a while?
You kidding? Aren't you the one looking for us? You really expect us to sit? Listen to me, boy. If you want your mora, fine.
Hey, I just said not to interrupt. Oh, by the way, Traveler, the last time
Hey! That's way over the line! All right, boy!
Can you at least let me finish one sentence? Fine. Though the bank told me not to get rough with our client, you're the ones who started it. This is an act of self-defense. You two will have to be my witnesses, okay?
I'm sure this won't take long.
Tidal wave. Shouldn't let your guard down.
What's your deal, Brad? How are you so strong if you're just a staffer from Snezhnaya's Northland Bank? Wait, don't tell me.
Oh, now you notice. It's a little late, don't you think? Just make sure you understand that you don't mess with Northland Bank. Got it? Huh?
Now's my chance!
Huh. That was weird. I'm not sure. It's as if I suddenly lost control of my hydro powers when I needed them. Maybe there's something wrong with my vision?
Strange. How could that happen? First...
Never mind. It doesn't matter.
So what are you doing in Fontaine, child? I don't see its work for Northland Bank.
Well, I guess it's because I...
Huh? What kind of reason is that? Wait, since when do you feel down about anything?
I don't know. Maybe I still have a lot to learn about myself. But recently, there seems to be some sort of restless power stirring inside of me. And I don't know why.
Maybe you losing control...
That is a possibility. I can't remember if I ever mentioned it before, but when I was 14, I fell into some unknown abyss. It was during that time I learned nearly all of my abilities. The one who took me under her wing and taught me was named Skirk. She was always quiet and very mysterious. Nobody knew where she came from or what she had been through, and she was always very strict when teaching me combat techniques. One time, I asked her why she was willing to take me on as an apprentice. From what I could make of her answer, because I had awakened it, and traces of it remained on me. She said that all my combat training would be useful in—
But what is it?
She never explained that. But my guess is that it's related to a dream I saw when I had just fallen into that abyss. In my dream, I was in the deepest depths of the sea, and the boundless seabed was all around me. But in front of me appeared a whale that was so massive, I felt like I couldn't breathe.
A whale? Oh, that sounds familiar! When we fought against you before...
That's just an abstract form of a whale that I create using my elemental powers. It takes that shape because the scene I dreamt of the whale has always been stuck in my mind.
So you used the whale as inspiration for one of your moves? So why don't you just go ask your master? Maybe...
You make it sound so easy. Ever since the incident I experienced there, but it's been years now, and I've still found nothing. There isn't even a trace of the place where I remember falling into the abyss.
Oh, it sounds like some kind of ghost story.
Yeah, I'm out of leads at this point, but there's nothing more I can do. Seems the time really flies when I'm talking with you. I just remembered I have somewhere else I need to be, so I should get—
What? More work for the Northland Bank?
No, it's more of a personal appointment. Lately, I've been sparring with some of Fontaine's official champion duelists whenever I'm feeling bored.
Official champion duelist?
Yep. In Fontaine, before a criminal goes to court, they're given one chance to defend. The champion duelists are all-powerful fighters selected from among the nation's best. And the duel itself is a no-holds-barred, so engaging in such a duel is regarded as a symbol of defending your honor. If a criminal manages to win the duel, they'll be acquitted. But if they lose, they'll have no choice but to stand trial. And the worst-case scenario is that you're simply killed in the duel. Though it's rumored that Fontaine has a death penalty, from what I can tell, no one has ever been officially sentenced to death. So really, the only people who opt to duel are those who have suffered a grave injustice in being accused, or those who greatly value their honor. Otherwise, why gamble with your life?
So, do many people actually get out of their trials by winning the duel?
Apparently, it's exceedingly rare for anyone to actually win. Fontaine probably enacted this system as a way to show that the nation respects the honor of its citizens. Besides, none of the champion duelists are to be trifled with, which is exactly why I was itching to face them as soon as I got to Fontaine. Apparently, the one I'm meeting today, Clorend, is the strongest of the champion duelists.
Well, that's child for ya.
Oh, before I forget, I want you to have this.
Huh? Your vision?
I'm just worried that it could become uncontrollable again. I'd be pretty upset if it got in the way of my duel. So, besides, I just need you to hold on to it for a short while. I'll come retrieve it when I have some time.
Paimon knows what you're up to. You just want an excuse to come talk to us again, don't...
Whatever gave you that idea?
That sneaky guy. Well, since we don't... Wow! Who could have seen that coming? The reporter who was sorry. The whodunits. It's so exciting to reach the moment when the mystery is Oh, sorry about... Hey. Lenny said that the Opera House is on Aranias, so let's go right... Whoa! Now this is fancy! The Opera at Eclairs. What a place to hold a performance! No wonder Linny and Lynette were looking forward to it. Huh. Looks like there's a lot of people standing around the fountain up ahead.
Oh, Archon, please bless us with a bright and healthy child. We pray.
I don't know why you always feel the need to ask so much. I'll be happy as long as our child is healthy and lives a peaceful life.
I guess if they're our kid, then there's no doubt they'll turn out smart.
Maybe this is one of the customs in Fontaine.
Vache.
What's wrong?
Vache. Vache.
No, Paimon didn't say anything.
Welcome to the Fountain of Lucine. All the water flowing through Fontaine converges here.
Lynette! You scared Paimon!
Lenny asked me to wait here for you, remember?
Right.
What do you mean? There are a lot of people here right now.
Hey, you're not trying to scare Paimon, are you?
I see. In fact, you might not be imagining things at all. I suspect that what you heard is a result of your hypersensitivity to the hydro element. Others in my family have had similar experiences.
It's because of his sensitivity to the hydro element? But what would hearing a voice have to do with elemental power?
When do you cry, Paimon?
Wait, what? What does that have to do with anything?
Just answer me.
When Paimon's really sad? Oh, and when Paimon's super happy.
Then you should understand that tears contain your most intense emotions. Like I just mentioned, the Fountain of Lucine is where all the flowing water in Fontaine converges. Even the so maybe what you heard was the intense emotion coming from some.
So, what did the voice say? Huh. If you were hearing their emotion...
Rather than worrying about them, we should worry about my brother first. Don't let that calm look of his fool you. He tends to get pretty nervous just before a performance.
Oh, right. That makes sense.
Traveler and Paimon, good to see you. I knew you.
Are you kidding? We wouldn't miss it for the world. We've been looking forward.
I can tell, judging by. But you're actually right on time. The audience still hasn't started entering the venue yet, which means. The Opera House has assigned seating, so you always have to make reservations.
Ooh, front row seat?
Don't mention it. There's no need to keep
Hey, Lenny! Could you come over here and take a look?
Oh, I'll be right there. Seems there's an issue with the stage props over there. That's...
Yeah, we'll just go to our... Oh, these should be our seats. Come on, let's sit. Hey, Traveler. Maybe we should strike up... you little... Of course you put this on Paimon.
Excuse me, I did not realize you felt awkward. I am terribly sorry. I would be perfectly happy to chat with you if that is what you would like.
Oh, so you heard... wait, that's not it. Paimon's... Sorry. Oh, Paimon's got it. You're also...
A friend, you say? Well, if Mr. Linney would like to be my friend, I would be...
Oh, so you're not friends with Linny, then... Oh, this is getting more awkward by the second. Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. We just arrived in...
It is an honor to meet you two. I have heard of your deeds across Teyvat, and as required by proper etiquette, I will also introduce myself.
Oh, Monsieur Nervillet. What an honor it is to have you here to see my...
Ah, Mr. Linney. I should say it is in...
Wait.
Hmm? I saw you all chatting just... Allow me to introduce you to Fontaine's Chief Justice. That seat is always reserved for him. It wouldn't be too much to say that he's the symbol of justice...
Whoa! Sorry for being...
No offense taken. Being Chief Justice is merely what I do for work. Nearly every person has their usual reserved seat, so... And by the way, I should probably let you know, even though I would prefer not to. There's someone sitting up there in the VIP seats that has been striking a pose for quite a while now. I believe she is trying to give you a most elegant and impressive first impression. So I think you should take notice of her sooner rather than later, Otherwise, she may become flustered.
Huh? Oh, it's Farina, the Hydro Archon. Huh. She sure has a smug and satisfied look on her face. Guess she has no idea that you saw right through her act.
Very good. That is for the best. No need to pay her any more attention. We may now enjoy the show.
Huh? So is this what things are like between the Chief Justice and the Hydroarch?
All right, please wait just a moment.
Yay! The show's finally about to start! Ooh! They're dimming the lights! The show must be starting! Sorry.
Welcome, one and all, to the Opera Epiclese. I am the star of today's show, Linny. And over here is my sister, Lynette, who will be working as my wonderful assistant. Please.
Hello, everyone.
I know she may seem to be a little sleepy right now, but that's just a sign that she's nervous.
Whatever.
Now, some of you may be thinking, two vision holders who can freely manipulate elemental powers performing magic is not true magic at all. So, I would like to take a moment to assure you that elemental powers will have nothing to do with what you will witness on the stage today. Both Lynette and myself have removed our visions for the show. That way, even the gods won't be able to help us.
Oh, good point. That's what makes the show real magic.
Now, without further ado, let the show begin. I know you might miss her, but don't worry. She'll be coming right back on stage momentarily. Perhaps in an unexpected way. I'm sure oh, and before I forget, you never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. A magician's greatest skill is making things disappear or appear. The possibilities are endless. Huh? But this isn't what you came for. These little tricks, you've seen them all before. So it's time for something truly extraordinary, don't you think? This one's a little tricky. Using this water tank, I shall make my sister vanish completely, right before your very eyes. It's actually quite simple. She'll just turn into air bubbles and float right out of the top. Oh no! I told them to check all the props carefully. With the lid on, even air can't escape. An amateur magician would be getting very nervous right around now. Luckily, it's me on stage, so let me show you what a true virtuoso can do. Lynette, are you still there? Don't go too far. We don't want to use up all our magic.
Hi, I'm back.
Uh-huh.
If we could see easily through his tricks, then that would mean that his skills are still lacking. To appreciate magic, you should focus on the show happening on stage, rather than getting caught up in trying to see that which has been intentionally hidden.
Guess you're right. Paimon couldn't believe her eyes.
Thank you, everyone. I'm glad you enjoyed that performance. But our magical journey has only just begun. I've prepared. The magic of transformation and disappearance can go far beyond what you've just seen. I'm sure many of you are thinking that escaping the water tank was impressive enough. But Lynette is still my assistant after all. In which case, I have ample time to make all necessary preparations. So, for my next trick, I will require the participation of one lucky audience member. Please, if my assistants could bring out the... There are 2 boxes, and only 2 boxes. One is here, and one is there in the aisle among the audience. I'm sure many of our clever audience members have already guessed our next magic. Our lucky audience member and I will each enter a magic box. After 1 minute, we will each emerge from the opposite box. Now please, everyone pay very close attention to the box you see here. Don't give me any chance to make a move.
Wow, how's he gonna do this? Hey, do you think this is all magic tricks, or does Lenny have...
The lucky audience member will be generated by this random number selector. It selects numbers entirely at... Now then, let's begin. Let me see... Oh, row 7, seat 3. Congratulations! You now have the chance to... Please, come forward. My assistant will take you beside... I'm sorry, it might be a little cramped inside, but no need to feel nervous. We've carefully arranged everything for you to be as comfortable as possible. You don't need to do anything, but no matter what strange things may happen, don't come out of the box. If the magic is interrupted, who knows where you might end up? You might even find yourself in the Fortress of Meropide.
Oh.
All right. Before I enter the magic box, there is one more thing I need to... Like this. 60, 59, 58. Just keep counting. I won't be able to see anything in the pitch black box, so I'll be relying on your voice. Oh, and no tricks now. If you quickly count from 60 in just 30 seconds, then I'll be in a tough spot.
Ooh, Paimon kinda wants to...
No, that won't do. Come on, repeat after me.
60, 59.
That's right, perfect. Keep it going. All right.
54, 53, 52? Why aren't you counting, Neverlet?
I am counting in my head. I think things are exciting enough in here, merely a consequence of my identity and personality.
Oh, all right. You look so serious that...
40! Mr. Linney, are you all right in there?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm just double-checking the direction of the map. It would be a disaster if we get sent to the wrong places. For example, midair right above the audience.
Even though he's saying that, Lenny doesn't seem... What was that noise? Did you hear it too? Not sure. Anyway...
25! What's wrong, Mr. Linney? I can still...
I seem to have accidentally knocked over a decoration.
Never mind the decorations. There's no time for that.
No, that's unacceptable. I want my show to be perfect.
19!
It seems things aren't quite... It feels like you're all starting to count faster, but that's all right. I know it can be tiring to do. 10 seconds and change is still plenty of time.
10!
Almost there now.
8!
Swapping 2 people is harder work than you might think. Even a master magician like me can't guarantee I'll get it right the first time. Hey, wait! Is this the back one? I can't tell. They both look the same inside. Huh? No, that's not it. I'll try again.
7!
Hey, slow down! Honestly!
5! 4! 3!
Whoops! That doesn't count!
0!
Ta-da!
show? Mr. Linney, you're going to use...
What happened?
Oh no. Maybe this isn't part of the show. The girl was still...
This performance is over. Medical staff with me. Guards, secure the scene and detain all the performers. Seal the exits. No one is allowed in or out at...
Yes, that's right. If this was just an accident, then we must investigate the cause.
No need to be alarmed, you two. We'll get to the bottom of... Unfortunately, the person who is in the magic box has been pronounced dead. His name was Cowell, one of the assistants in Linny's magic troupe. Apparently, the fireworks on stage ignited the ropes that were suspending the water tank, which then caused the tank to fall onto the stage. As of now, we are still not sure why we found Cowell in the box, rather than the guest from the audience. And after an initial search of the area, the guards have confirmed that the girl is nowhere to be found. It appears that this incident was not merely some mishap, and there are many indications that it is connected with the case.
That's the case that Charlotte mentioned before!
I know the truth. I can see through the whole thing. Really. Using such a shallow and obvious mystery as his finale. Did he really? I say that our powerful magician, Mr. Linney, is now the prime suspect for the serial disappearances case.
Huh? Why me? This whole thing was an accident.
No. This all occurred during your magic show, did it not? The missing girl disappeared after being chosen, did she not? The deceased is one of your assistants, is he not? Now that I think about it, that whole speech about magicians making things disappear was not...
That can't be right! He was in the box on the stage the entire time! We can even hear his voice! Besides, before the show, he told us that he would like to catch the
Save discussion for a later time, please. Lady Farina, may I assume that your comments just now constitute an accusation against Mr. Linney and his associates, and that you are pressing charges?
Huh? I just think that he... Well, I think it might be a little...
But what Lady Farina said just now makes perfect sense. Look...
A kidnapping and murder carried out under the cover of a magic show.
I mean, of course, that's right. I mean you, Traveler. You'll support Lynn. Then there's no problem at all. You know, the Traveler and I already had a duel the first time we... But with Linny's help, our little duel ended in a draw. So, no more draws. Between the two of us, there must be a clear winner and loser.
It wasn't a draw.
I understand. Charges... Well, Traveler, seems Lady Farina has set you in her sights. Are you willing to act as Mr. Linney's attorney and defend him? Very well. The trial will be held a day from now in the Opera House. Linney and his troupe are all potential suspects and shall remain within the Opera House. The audience may begin to leave in an orderly fashion once they have been cleared by the guard.
A day isn't that long. Let's see what...
Sorry about everything.
Of course!
Yeah, I'm a little shaken up myself. I know you already claimed that you would defend me, but now it's... I understand. I'm sure everyone sees me as the biggest suspect at the... I don't know whether what happened there on the stage was purely an accident or not. And as for how that girl chosen from the audience could suddenly disappear, even a skilled and knowledgeable magician like my...
Which is precisely why we need to investigate! As this book says, the impossible could not have happened. Whatever happened must have been that which is possible. Paimon bought them when we were reading at the bookshop in the city earlier. Pretty cool, huh? Don't worry, Paimon used her own savings to buy them.
I think they look cute on you, Paimon.
You have good taste, Lynette!
That's the right attitude. But with the guards watching our every move, it's a good thing you agreed to be our attorneys.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, just leave it to us. Oh, since we're going to start investigating, Paimon has a question first. Where did Lynette go during the performance?
Oh, well. I'm afraid that would involve.
The secrets behind our magic are past saving.
I suppose you're right. 'Tis truly a pity. As a magician, our magic show is a work of art. But if revealing our secrets will help you uncover the truth behind what happened, then it will be well worth it. We should go somewhere else if we're going to discuss our magic tricks.
Alright, let's go have a look while the investigation teams are still here. Detective Paimon is on the case! Hello, officer. How's the investigation going?
Ah, I see. You must be the
Huh?
Come with me and you'll see. The deceased is one of Linny's assistants, named Cal. Even though he hadn't joined the troupe long, the assistants are usually in charge of setting up and inspecting the props. As you probably saw when you were in the audience, the water tank suddenly fell and smashed the box. This is the real mystery. We've already searched the scene and However, if you look carefully, the box was positioned directly under the water tank. All these factors lining up so perfectly makes it hard to see. If anything, the more logical explanation is that the whole incident was intentionally planned.
But he doesn't have a motive.
Are you both good friends of his?
Well, you can't say we're good.
So in just a short time, he was not only able to win your I know there's no such thing as magic. The real trick of a magician is holding the audience in the palm of their hand. I've seen a lot of cases. And I tend to be pretty straightforward. Anyway, you may investigate the scene of the crime yourselves if you're curious. Who knows, maybe you'll...
The investigation team has some new findings. Turns out that there's an issue with the...
See, I told you. What if the machine picked some big guy's seat? You think the murderer would have still made his move then?
Sorry to interrupt, but we're helping Linny and Lynette with their side of the investigation. What were you saying about the number selector?
You're trying to help them?
Linny used the machine to pick a random member of the audience during his performance. Well, we thought there might be a serious problem with the machine, so we had it taken away for further inspection.
It turns out that the seat number it picked wasn't random at all. The machine picks that same number every time. I'm sure you already know that you have to make a reservation in advance to get a seat. In other words, Linny knew who would be sitting where from the very...
That much check...
Bet you see why I was saying it'd be tough to make a case for Linny.
So this is the rope that broke and... The rope looks pretty durable. How can it be burned through so quickly by fireworks? Why are you suddenly so serious, Traveler? Whoa. Look! This bit is made from different material! Most of it was burned away, but there's still a little bit of it left. So if a rope meant to hold something was made with that kind of material in it, then wait, why would you write all the... Hello there. What are you investigating?
Oh, this location is also... The seats were all booked in advance. So, sure, it's not like this is confidential information. Her name is Halsey. She's a painter from Fontaine who's made a bit... Apparently, she wasn't a regular at the Opera House, but she'd been feeling some pressure with her. The Magic Troupe members all claim not to know her. We have looked... Simply put, she wasn't related to the Magic Troupe at all.
Were the victims of previous cases also chosen at random?
That's how it seems to us, in any case. Apart from the
Okay then.
no need to be so. It is of utmost.
Why would it be? Gosh. No wonder the serial disappearances never got.
I see that you're investigating the area. If you find any new and interesting,
We don't have too many thoughts yet.
then why don't I tell you my hypothesis first?
The thud?
Yes, exactly. It wasn't terribly loud, but it's just that everyone was awaiting the results of Linny's trick with bated breath. So no one paid it.
That makes.
I'm of the opinion that it may have been the sound of Linny's accomplice. Lynette, perhaps. Jumping atop the water tank or something like that. And when the pyrotechnics went off, she cut the rope, sending the water to.
But wasn't the noise we heard too loud?
Perhaps the balance wasn't right, leading to a particularly rough. Oh, that's true.
That does.
Hey, you! Yes, both of you! Over here! I've been keeping an eye on you for a while now.
Huh? You mean us?
That's right. If I'm not mistaken, you're also among those who wish to cut down the thorns and pursue the truth.
Well, you're right on the more about that one, but who are you?
Have you never from mediating disputes and providing protection to solving, and I, Navia, have the honor of being its renowned president. Though those who play by our rules call me Pop.
I'm Silver, her attendant. Pleased to meet you.
And I'm Melus, Demoiselle's various
Huh? Boss? Demoiselle?
Well, I am the second
My apologies, Demoiselle. Should you...
No need. You don't...
Okay, if you say so.
All merely trifling details. Never mind. That's right. I've always kept an eye on this. Judging from the...
Really? We think so too. That's why we're looking for clues now. But how did you come to that conclusion?
Intuition, naturally. Farina sure was quick to point the finger at Linny without any decisive evidence whatsoever. But that's not uncommon for her. If you remember, the Justice had to interrupt her and ask if she was pressing charges just to keep her from getting carried away. Anyway, a trial begins the moment someone levels charges. And, of course, there was no way.
Sounds more like you just don't trust the Hydroarch.
Well, what's your opinion? All right, I've answered your question.
Wait a minute, did that answer?
Well, I say it does. In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat a trial like it's an opera?
Well?
And why would that be? See, Silver and Melus? I told you they'd be different.
Most astute of you, Demoiselle. No matter how wonderful the script or how fervent the audience is, then if that can be done, boss.
All right, that's quite enough, Melus. Anyway, I like your answer. You passed with flying colors. Now, I need to make some preparations, following which our joint investigation...
Wait! Since when did we become assistants?
Oh, well, I can be the assistant.
That's more like it.
Far be it from me to brag, but I believe that Demoiselle's intuition will be instrumental in uncovering the truth. You wish to save a friend from false accusations, and we wish to unwrap...
You have a point. And what about you over there? What do you think? You seem like you've got something on your mind.
I have nothing to add.
Oh.
We'll be making some preparations first.
No one can freely enter or exit the Opera House at the moment. If you wish to leave, you must register your identity with...
No, we're not leaving. Were you always guarding this entrance?
Yes. After the Chief Justice gave the order, everyone coming in or out must undergo a strict inspection. So, the missing girl couldn't have left from here.
I doubt there was much opportunity. How can you be so...
Well, because I couldn't see Linny's perform, but still, we Melazines are good at that sort of thing, you know.
So, it's safe to say... All right, thank you for your help. We've checked everything of note here at the performance venue. My mom wonders how Linny's discussion with the guards is going.
Understood. Then I will be going with you. Just so you're aware.
Very good. Thanks for being so agreeable. I'd pull a rose out of my hat as a gift for you if I could.
You may spare the pleasantries. I'm just doing my job.
You've arrived. Who's this?
Me? I'm Spina di Rosula's guardian angel. If you've got a problem, I've got the firepower. Sorry, and these are my companions. Would you mind if they join us?
Fine by me.
Oh, new helpers?
Well, let's just say we're tagging along. It's not every day you get to see the secrets behind magic.
I appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
Huh? Below stage?
Yes, a world of secrets is hidden beneath this magic but before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here? I'm not trying to be dramatic. Remembering the details of a trick will help.
Huh. Weren't there balloons and other decorations here?
Ah, good eye. That said...
the back? You mean the inside of the door?
Very good indeed. I thought you might not be able to catch that, given that you were sitting in the first row. The back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what... Exactly. All right.
Oh, so there was a passageway under the magic box!
I knew you'd figure out. The 2 magic boxes are positioned right above the... See this flatbed trolley? The box with the lucky audience member in it would be shuttled over to the other side using the trolley.
This trolley can raise and lower and even rotate, ensuring that the box will face in the right direction.
I see. So that's the...
Precisely. The inner box would descend after the audience member was put inside and be moved along...
So that's how you did it!
Once the box was lowered, the trolley would store some energy through this... The audience member would only be able to feel some...
Right! You were talking that whole time!
Ah, yes. My assistant and I had already scripted our conversation beforehand.
And what about Lynette? Where was she?
I was in the mezzanine space in the back of the box.
Oh, interesting!
That's how we were able to coordinate Linny's lines with the assistant. And, by the way,
I mean, we are twins. All it takes is a change of clothes and no one can tell who's who. And that's my favorite part of this trick. Only Lynette and I can perform it.
So that's how it all worked!
Lynette would briefly walk out of the box and then go back in, jumping into the tunnel and escaping before the box on the... And then I walk out of the other box in the audience area, and the trick would be complete. But as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience member. She, on the other hand, mysteriously...
We really don't know how that happened.
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. And yet, to think that someone was able to use this magic trick to commit a crime. Could we have a look around? I think we can come...
This is the scene of the crime. So Linny and Lynette are not permitted to stay here.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict now. I won't disappear.
Thanks, everyone. We're counting on...
Looks like a hook tied to the end of a rope. Huh?
Perhaps it was a prop for a different trick. But why would it have been left here?
Whatever it is, let's make a note of it first.
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
Speaking of which, why would there...
Oh! Paimon knows! It's one of those tricks where you... And here's a broken vase!
That can't be...
What is this place?
It seems someone could fit through here.
Huh. Could they...
Alone, perhaps. But if they had to pull another...
But there are no other ways in or out of here. Oh, you're right! Let Paimon write that down.
Oh, these are the clothes that the lady... Her clothes are here, but she's no...
Right. And deep... Ugh. This is... Seems we're just about done investigating down here.
Yes, let's head back up. Well, we've ascertained the state of the crime scene. Let's find a place to sort out our findings once...
Apologies for the wait.
So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal escape through the vent?
They believe the odds of that are very... The guards have checked the area carefully. No one left through the...
So the tunnels become like a secret chamber then. You know, like the kind you usually...
The plot thickens. Halsey's No wonder for
In other words, the
Charges and then trial.
That's right. This is how a trial goes in the Opera House. That's right. This is how indemnitium is produced. The statements from both sides, the defenses from attorneys, witness testimonies, and even the audience's emotions. To put it simply, it's as if the oratrice has its own will.
This also precludes any kind of...
Once both sides have finished speaking, the Chief Justice will make his final decision. Then, finally, the oratrice will be consulted by officials.
Huh? So that machine is the one that actually decides?
In practice, there is very little difference. Both have always come to the... Yes, the guards also asked me to convey that none of us will be allowed to leave this place.
Huh? Why?
Because we've chosen to act as the twins' proxies. That makes...
They're concerned that we might be colluding with outside parties. Or that we might find outside help to disrupt the case. And even if that were not so...
I'm ready to break out at any time.
Whoa! There's no need for that!
Of course. I just hope you don't mind the...
In that case, let's just sort out our findings together here. I mean, what better way to properly think through our findings than over...
Huh. Breaking out suddenly doesn't seem... Just kidding! Paimon will
What do you mean, no snacks? Of course we'll have snacks.
Huh?
Understood, demoiselle. Everyone, please come with me. Yes, I must be prepared to meet the demoiselles baking.
I have eggs, sugar, and almonds at the ready.
Good work, you two. Then I'll get to... These three are quite the interesting group. And Paimon thought it smelled good while it was still in the oven. From the way you had these two guys carrying all that... But you ended up doing the entire...
I was applauding.
And I was giving encouraging...
Paimon was just thinking.
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere that fancy ladies can only read books, sip tea, ride horses. Don't underestimate beating egg weights, by the way. It's a real arm workout. Anyway, give these a try. Fresh out of the oven.
Only 3?
Well, eating too many sweet treats might send all that sugar to your head. You wouldn't be able to think clearly about the case on a sugar rush.
Tea is ready to be served as well. There's no need for concern.
All right, then. Down to business. However, we can assume that the magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course.
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when
The flower vase and the thud we heard during the performance could indicate some altercation between Halsey and the criminal in the tunnel, resulting in the shattering of the vase, the discarding of her clothes, and her abduction. Perhaps the criminal thought that since she was chosen from the crowd, she would be too easy to identify if she was still wearing the same clothes.
Paimon thinks that makes sense, but...
True. But the only people left to consider are both technically victims. Whether it's the missing girl, Halsey, or poor Cat.
Could Halsey have secretly made modifications to the magic props in order to murder Cowell before making her a...
That's right. And even if she had tampered with the setup, she would need to understand the entire trick, nor does she have any motive. The guard said that she has never had any dealings with the
Were we not thorough enough in our search? From the sound of things, this is turning into an impossible case. Your macarons are amazing, though, Navia. They smell great! They're not...
They are my specialty.
What? 5? Oh, that can't be right. Paimon only counted 3. On it.
Please don't worry about it. At my age of...
No. Being greedy is... Besides, Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't... Wait. Even you don't believe... If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons, then may they
All right, we get it. Maloose, set up the stove.
Huh?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
Exactly.
As you wish, demoiselle.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almonds.
Well, this really is your...
Well, that's it for snack time. I don't know what we're looking for. It would be awkward if you got all...
All right, thanks for your help.
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Maloose, it's time to go. I'll be back if I find anything.
All right, it's time to...
Just relax. Even if everyone else besides...
Thanks, Navia.
Best of luck to you.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation?
To be honest,
No. We're already very...
Well, now, don't you all look disappointed? That was to be expected, of course. The guilty can... But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed.
Since both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic show Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and
Yes, of course. I will explain, well...
Thank you, Mr. Linney. In that, you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have...
Yes, that's correct.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady...
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying. There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder...
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask, what did you hear while you were...
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation.
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing that might leave an impression of any kind?
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud that I believe practically everyone heard it.
Huh?
Hey, hang on!
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
I was right by the box, and I
Look at those scales. Could those...
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. Of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid. Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
The House of the Hearth?
No wonder they did something like this.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatui's doing. Now,
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just a...
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything that happened during that one. Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting and discord, I suppose. This was almost too easy. Good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
Hey, Linny!
Order! Order! First, when are these claims true? Please answer my question.
I'm sorry. Yes, they're true.
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing.
What should we do now?
Granted. In that case, what is your request?
Is that really necessary?
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
Order! Order! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn. This trial...
So you would stick to Miss... In that case, my dear audience, let's allow the joy of victory to steep for a...
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon... I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We based our entire reasoning on not to set the wrong tone or anything.
I'm very sorry. I know you've clashed with the Fatui several times before, but our organization is very, very large, and the heart...
Right now, we want to save people.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster. I knew if it weren't for our respect, that's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you. The truth is very important, but being completely right. So, you be the judge. Heck, you met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. But still, I'm asking you...
Sorry.
Well, you both say that, let's hear you.
Of course. I'll answer it. We've been trying to find out how the aura tree. During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath. From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick with the objective of getting close to the core.
Is that why you needed a whole...
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent.
That air vent was created during the construction of the...
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached what should have been impossible, of course, I was quite certain that I was... That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated the way. On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there. After that, the homicide occurred.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal with it.
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth. It was never my wish to proceed under this cloud of mistrust either. But like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust the Fatu...
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
Okay.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty bad if we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations. Huh?
Both parties have returned to their positions. When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina...
That took long enough. At this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linney's perspective. Countdown began, he entered the tunnel. When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with He did not realize that the sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house. Finally, he used the vase to knock her out before making her change clothes to prevent other... At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise. And so Linney proceeded to knock afterward. Linney passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stands. And there you have it. That's the truth behind what happened.
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina's description of the events?
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events, what Linney experienced and what he saw. Seems this... Seems that... According to Linney, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. He couldn't have had that altercation with Halsey. Linny went to the room that contains the Oratrice's core. This is the actual truth. Linny did not take part in the underground altercation. He only witnessed traces of the aftermath.
Attention! Ace Detective Paimon has something to say! When the countdown started, Linny did indeed go into the tunnel. But he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement, which is where the underground core of the Oratrice is. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. Since he felt something was amiss, he returned immediately. The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again, and in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Paimon did it!
In other words, you believe that he knew.
That's right!
My reasoning?
If that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill? Assuming that what you say is true, Linny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of killing someone on stage be?
Oh, they have a point.
That's right, you tell him! And that's why they're partners of mine. They've managed to turn things around. Oh, well, your denial is very strident. Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could he have not heard that sound? Why do you ask? You're saying that he wasn't.
Are you sure we don't need to give this more thought? That's right! Linny wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear anything strange during the performance. This means that when the crime happened, Linny, the same clue you used to disprove his alibi, has now become the best proof! Ha ha! How do you...
Well played. To think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Linny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
Could there have been a third person involved? Halsey is the missing person. The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant.
Huh? That can't be... The killer was, in fact...
Oh, is that so?
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to victim. No one entered or left the Opera House through its entrances, So where would the criminal have wanted to take Hal? The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel, so there must have been some fear that she would attract attention. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have bumped into Linny as well. The sound we heard may have come from a clash. The deceased's name is Cowell. The sound we heard may have come from a Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment. The deceased's name is Cowell. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment. No one entered or left the Opera House through its entrances. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. The sound we heard may have come from a clash. No one entered or left the Opera House through its entrances. It would have been tough for both people.
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble?
Look, since we're at a dead end, just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must.
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared.
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel, and it's not like this is a map.
Excuse my
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. He would have been able to No one entered or left the Opera House through its entrances. So where... The vase was not broken by chance. It was used to cover important...
Paimon gets it! Lynette escaped from the water tank vent. If there's a...
How could a person ever be transformed into water? This is reality. Must we really? I should think that of anyone. Your friend Lynn. Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirection. But Halsey...
Even so, I trust the Traveler's judgment. The truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning may open if we try to gather all the focal points that don't make sense. Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him. But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings, would it?
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their rope. The way I...
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional guards, please step into the lounge.
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must be shared with everyone post-haste. We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage, each labeled separately. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are water from the primordial sea.
The primordial sea?
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice. The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve. One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that, as such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact,
You've got to be kidding! People dissolving into...
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy.
Huh. If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? Wait just a minute. Could that mean...
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just...
Order! Order!
It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some surprising results. But we cannot yet verify the veracity of these clues. Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic. Guards, please continue examining the... Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence. So...
Of course. Thank you. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't make sense at all. Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. The water from the primordial sea. Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. Did she have something to do with this? I remember there was something else within the inner layer of that box. Now it seems like the... Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire... I remember there was something else within the inner layer of that box. The water from the primordial sea. Lynette was in the magic box on stage. I remember there was something else within the inner layer of that box. Now it seems like the... I remember there was some... I remember there was some... The rope that held the water tank. Now it seems like the...
It's ace in the original plan. Cowell would tamper with the water tank rope, and the number selector securing his target. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box. When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside. Afterward, Cowell would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel. With the remaining evidence but he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
Huh. That does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing people.
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person? What a humiliation.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led to... His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be...
On that note, the guards have just contacted me. I shall now invite him on stage.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the lug, and we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial.
What?
That can't be. Does this not clear all my dear citizens? My loyal... Linny did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Indeed, having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice Cowl then caused... But upon his return, in cruel avarice, Linny desired sole credit and prepared to do away with his partner. Ultimately, he knocked Cowl out, and the tool meant to now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward conclusion. Am I right, Miss?
We've used up all the evidence we collected. Is this the end of the road?
Oh no.
I think we've all... I believe this is indeed... Now then, my good...
Excuse me, everyone!
Miss, I must ask you...
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your very eyes.
What in the world is she saying?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a trick be the most Come on, Linny and Lynette. Give it another go. Don't but, as the magic makers and stars of the show...
I understand.
And voila!
Wait, isn't that Halsey?
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me. And then before I knew it, she...
That'll teach you to underestimate us.
Where should I begin?
What? Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian. And I'm originally from Mondstadt. I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away.
Hey! No wonder you look for... Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but he even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was on to me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee. But then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costumes. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside.
Can a person even hide in there?
But I swear, I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
This time, we need to tell the entire story from Lily-Ann's The flower vase was not... The strange... Lily-Ann was afraid that...
interrupted out of the blue, Lillian panicked. Her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open, producing the thud we all heard. Hearing the commotion, Cowell leapt into the tunnel, only to discover that Lillian had not dissolved. He did not know that Lillian was not from Fontaine, but was a thief who made her way in by stealing a ticket. Mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed timed, the two broke the flower vase during the struggle, but Lillian came out on top. With no way of escaping, she She knew that she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses. Talk about a sneaky thief.
At this point, all the events that happened in the tunnel have now come to light.
Ah, so that's...
Bravo!
Now then, Lady Farina. Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
What? Are you reading my mind now? No, I have no further arguments.
Wow! Look at that!
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of the actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop, and he poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box, and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian, thinking that the waters had not yet taken up. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box. Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the opera house. From this reconstruction of events, we can... While there is much in Linny and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated separately, this case, at least, can be handed over to the oratories to make the final decision. As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
Great work, partner.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Next, I think we deserve... How did you find the water from the primordial sea in Linny's baggage?
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know.
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not... I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your...
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
I was just following. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best...
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, therefore you would be wise to tell everything...
Yes, our boss discovered that the water can cause people to. It can also be made into a potion, which, when extremely diluted, can cause people. We've been in this business for a while now and have made decent more off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea.
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness.
An outrageous act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
So, we're just going back now? That's...
Traveler, Paimon! Please wait.
Lenny...
I know you may not want to speak to me right now, but still, let me thank you again, I guess. I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruit-
The Knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth? She's your father?
That's right. And since we're here, I was back when our parents first died. Lynette, and to survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. It took me I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner. And to my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular. And we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. But before long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished to
So you went from orphans to nobility?
That was how we felt at first, too. As if fate was on our side and we could say goodbye to those painful days. But I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to go.
That doesn't seem too bad either.
It took a while for me to realize just how dark his... After one particular performance at a banquet, I discovered that Lynette was not on the same return vehicle as me. I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift. I mean, you'll be able to perform your magic regardless of who your assistant is, yes?
Oh no. But wouldn't Fontaine's laws deal with such...
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care. I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person and hurried through the night. All I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood.
So, she'd already...
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered several girls hidden in a basement. Father, I mean, the Knave, might have seen something in me, and so she made me... The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray you. Indeed, but I was hesitant to trust her. I mean, I had just been betrayed by nobles. But she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first.
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of...
She has her own plans. She has gained permission from the Tsaritsa to first use the Gnosis's power once she obtains it. She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and save Fontaine.
So, she believes that...
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some... All of us house members here, Lady Arlecchino herself included, are from Fontaine. We won't give up on defending our homeland. To us orphans, the only connection we have left to this world, apart from our family...
So, from small deeds like distribute...
It's all right. I understand. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the House, I have... If you should need anything at all in the future...
Bye, Linny!
Hey there. What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended.
Were you looking for us?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case. Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack a case that's been cold for decades now? And given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a trail of breadcrumbs for the Hydro Archon's people to...
I see. Well, I won't lie. Sorry.
Don't say that, Navi.
Aw, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant mire. Sorry about... Wait, shall we have a farewell meal? You know...
Huh? Do we really need to get...
Well, I'd just like to have a... Anyway, it would just be a meal, so...
You don't have to twist Paimon's arm if Boss Navi...
Oh, wonderful. In that case, why don't we return to the court of Fontaine and...
All right, then. Let's have our farewell meal.
I came here several times with my father when I was little, but stopped eating here as often after growing up. I hope the food here will be to your taste.
Oh, don't worry. We haven't eaten at a hotel like this in a while. Paimon's getting excited already.
In that case, I'll go order for us first. Please wait here a moment.
Ooh, everything looks so good. People in Fontaine sure know how to enjoy life.
Why, of course. Go ahead, try whatever you like. If the food's good...
And if it's not...
Well, then I'll still bring
You, sure have your own way of doing things. Oh, we called this a farewell meal, but we could also treat it like a victory feast, right? We did just win that case after all.
Oh, true. Very true. In that case, boss, we'll have another 2 dishes.
Huh? Paimon didn't mean that you had to order even more food. Speaking of cases, do you think that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances will get caught soon now?
Well, we've certainly taken a big step forward, but I feel that...
If it hadn't happened...
Right? Yet it was because this was so...
Ugh. If only that guy could have finished speaking! We were so close to hearing who was behind it.
In such investigations, even the smallest step can seem like a yawning cat. To be honest, I don't have high hopes for any follow-up that the authorities... It's not that I don't have faith in their ability. It's just that a different perspective is required in some matters. It's easy to guard against and deceive a single narrow perspective. A shift in thinking is required at such times in order to produce a breakthrough. Which is exactly why the Spina di Rosula exist. Those highfalutin folk are not all-knowing. That's why we exist. To seep into the cracks where filth falls through, where their watch fails them. That's the kind of problems we solve.
Seems Paimon thought things were simpler than they actually are.
It's all right. Well, this was supposed to be a farewell meal, so I doubt you have further interest in this business, right? Let's talk about something else. Like, what are your future plans?
that's true. We didn't...
I see. So, your primary objective, which has been foiled so far, was to have a chat with the Hydro Archon. I've heard that there's a long line of people waiting to meet Lady Farina. I suspect you'll be waiting for quite a while, considering that you missed your chance today.
Yeah, we've heard that she's super popular here in Fontaine, and that it'll be tough getting any of her time.
Well, would you consider some more, unique ways? Perhaps even methods of, let's say, questionable legality?
Guess that's Spina di Rosula's boss for you. Chock full of sketchy ideas. Well, what did you have in mind?
Well, one way would be to infiltrate a performance troupe at the Opera House, only to abandon your act at the play's climax and ask to speak to her after the performance. I'm sure Lady Farina...
Could you suggest some...
All right, I can personally testify that this one works. When I'm valid point. I overlooked... You did defeat her in court, clearing citizens of hers from false accusations. False accusations she had nearly upheld personally. I imagine that she feels quite ashamed about the whole thing.
You mean that if we catch her while she's up, why don't we give it a try after this meal?
Huh? Paimon...
was this your drink?
No, it's fine.
Alright. Honestly...
Is that so? Huh. If we're all finished eating, then I'll go pay.
Yeah, we're stuffed. Oh, so full. Paimon can barely float anymore. Nah, that would be so...
Okay.
Hey, Navia, what are you doing?
Oh, nothing. It was just a meal, you know? So this is goodbye, huh? Well, if you do encounter any other trouble in Fontaine, you're... in any case, I wish you...
See ya!